So all the buffoons are deeply concerned about the Kurds. Should you be? Or should you be concerned about Mexico? Colonel Douglas McGregor is the man we turn to answer questions like that. He joins us tonight. Colonel, thanks so much for coming on. So we should be very concerned about Syria. Meanwhile, what appears to be a full-blown drug war is underway right there. Why is nobody noticing?
Well, let's look at some numbers. Last year, we spent $16.2 billion to maintain 2,000 troops on the ground in Syria to support the military operations there. Now, $1 billion consisted of aid. I don't know where that went. But $15.2 billion was there to support the military operations. Let's fast forward to where we are right now with the
$15.2 billion in military operations in Syria. That's not a small amount.
No. And remember, last year there were 33,000 people killed in Mexico, far, far more than lost their lives in Syria. In addition to that, we've had 300,000 homicides since this drug insurgency in Mexico began. Far, far more than we killed during our years in Iraq during the occupation.
So how much are we spending to deal with that?
Well, right now, if you look at the defense authorization bill, we have another iteration of more money obviously going to Syria, probably in the same amounts, maybe more. We also have a request for $4.7 billion for border security. And right now, the defense authorization bill is stuck in Congress. People don't want to support it. So for some reason, we want to fund our forces, our troops, our men overseas in a quarter of Syria, ostensibly to protect an oil field that is tiny and almost irrelevant. I mean, after all, Austria has more oil than Syria. There's no money in it. We can talk about that too. But the point is, we can't get border security despite what has just happened. Although at the same time, we have lots of people saying, well, now we should launch attacks into Mexico to kill drug terrorists.
So those numbers are amazing and not surprising, because all the buffoons, as you just heard, were telling us the Kurds are the most important priority for U.S. foreign policy. What should we do?
First of all, we need to look at this particular event. It's a watershed event. Ask is, why now? Why out of the blue would the cartel do this? Because the cartels have always been afraid that if we did use military power, it would hurt their business. That if we did close the border, it could be disastrous. So the first question is, who's really behind this? Do we have evidence that the Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, the Turks, someone else somewhere is working with these cartels and said it's time to send a message to the Americans? Could it be that they would like us to open a new front in the global war on stupidity that we've been involved with now for many, many years? I mean, what would be better to drain away more time, resources than a new front in the war on terror in Mexico? So what should we do? First, we need to close the border. We've got to secure it. We need 40,000, 50,000 regular Army troops on the border. We need to change the policies. We need to let the Border Patrol deal with the legal crossing points, but make it impossible for anyone to enter the United States illegally. That has to happen. This is long overdue. If we don't do that, and we do try to take action in Mexico, we are going to be struck hard here inside the United States. The border is still open. Thousands of illegal border crossers are captured every month. Thousands more get through. We have MS-13 and numerous other drug-related crime syndicates inside the United States. Does anyone really think that if we launched attacks today in Mexico against the drug cartels, that they would not launch attacks here against us?
That's exactly right. So the idea of responding with force before closing our own border is insane.
It's impossible. And we need to go after them here at home.
Yeah, I believe that's racist, though. Protecting ourselves. Colonel, thank you so much.
Thank you.